Can the Patriots clinch the number one seed in the AFC? The Bruins keep on winning. How are they doing it? And Isaiah Thomas, the former Celtic, not the former Piston, joins the show. The Boston Globe Sports Report starts right now. Welcome to the Boston Globe Sports Report. I am Ben Volin. We've got a great show today. I'll be joined by Nicole Yang, the Globe's Patriots writer. We'll have Isaiah Thomas, the former Celtic, on, and Danielle Dubois will be by later to give you the hot takes from the fans. All right, Nicole, we got to start it off with the Patriots. I think at the beginning of the year, we all expected, hey, it'd be a nice season if they could double their win total from last year and maybe compete for the wild card spot. Forget that, Nicole. Through 11 games, they're 9-2. They're the number 2 seed. They're 98% chance to make the playoffs. I think now we have to talk about the 1 seed, which is just mind-blowing to me, Nicole. Is this team an actual contender for the number 1 seed in the AFC?
Yeah, I think it's no question the Patriots are going to make the playoffs, and I think they do have a really good, clear path to the 1 seed in a first-round bye. The Patriots, just looking at their schedule, they still have to play the Ravens and the Bills. I would say those are their 2 toughest tests, but this weekend, Sunday against the Bengals, that was supposed to be one of the big tests, but with Joe Burrow and now potentially Jamar Chase facing a suspension, that test isn't really there either. So when you look at the other 2-win teams in the league, the Broncos and the Colts, they just from a schedule standpoint are going to have a tougher time than the Patriots.
Yeah, it is kind of shaping up to be a 3-horse race for the number 1 seed, and 2 of them are actual horses, and the Broncos and the Colts, and then the Patriots as well. I was looking at the schedules, Nicole, and yeah, the Patriots are still going to be racking up some wins. Our colleague Chad Finn has a column right now up on BostonGlobe.com this week about he thinks the Patriots might run the table and finish 15-2. I think they might trip up against that game at the Ravens is going to be difficult, and as you said, the game against the Ravens should be tricky, but the Patriots are looking like a 13-14 win team, and I don't know if the other teams really have what it takes to keep pace with the Patriots in the win column.
Totally. The Colts still have to play, I think, the Seahawks, Chiefs, and Niners. The Broncos have to play the Chiefs again. Yes, they just beat them, but a divisional opponent is always tough. And I believe they also have to play maybe the Chargers. So when you look at the Patriots division, I think it really benefits them that sort of Miami has fallen off and the Jets are just the disaster that they are. So that really gives them a cushion compared to, say, the AFC West. And even the AFC South outside of the Titans is shaping up to be more competitive this year. Yeah,
no question. That's a great point. The Colts, their remaining schedule, I think they have the 4th toughest schedule to finish out the season. No weeks off for them. You mentioned they have a huge showdown this Sunday at the Chiefs. They also have to play the Niners. They have to play Seattle. And then 2 each against the Texans and the Jaguars, their division rivals who are in the playoff hunt. So no breaks at all for the Colts. Now, the Broncos, who also have won a bunch of games in a row like the Patriots, their schedule is a little more accommodating. Their road schedule, at Vegas, at Washington, at Dallas. So the Broncos are a team that, probably are going to continue to rack up some wins. To me, that's what it's going to come down to, Patriots or Broncos for the 1 seed. Do you think it'll be tragic for the Patriots or a really big deal if they don't get the number 1 seed and have to play that first weekend?
I don't think so, especially with this team and sort of the lack of playoff experience in the locker room. They just have Milton Williams and Carlton Davis with sort of that playoff medal. Stephon Diggs as well, but I think it might benefit them to sort of get that first playoff win under their belt if they want to make a run. Whereas you look at the Lions, for example, last year they get the bye and then they lose in the divisional round. So I don't know if if the first round bye will make that big of a difference for them. I guess it would depend on maybe if they have some injuries or things like that. But I honestly could see benefit to playing that weekend or having it off.
I think this is a team that really could use it just to give them time to get healthy. And then, of course, you don't have to face like the Chiefs or the Bills in the first round. You can maybe hope for those teams to get knocked off. So it wouldn't be fatal if the Patriots have to play that opening weekend. But, man, I cannot believe, Nicole, that we are talking about the Patriots and the number 1 seed, and it feels very real. Okay, let's move on to this week's hot take. The best part of the Patriots game on Thursday night, it wasn't really their 27-14 win over the Jets. It was the debut of their new alternative nor'easter uniforms, which leads me to today's hot take. Not only were these uniforms great, but the Patriots should adopt them full time. I love the storm blue color, the white helmets, the NE secondary logo, and all the Easter eggs on the jersey. The current uniforms are frankly a little bland, and the whole Patriots color scheme in general is kind of a little tired after 25 years. Instead, the Patriots could distinguish themselves as the only team in sports to wear storm blue. It'd be the perfect way for the Patriots to establish a fresh identity under Mike Vrabel and Drake May. Okay, coming up next, former Celtic Isaiah Thomas is going to come through to talk about the Celtics and getting honored at the tradition. Welcome back to the show, and now we head to the interview, and I am fired up for this week's guest. He's one of my favorite Celtics from over the years. He was a two-time All-Star for the Celtics. Isaiah Thomas, welcome to the show. Isaiah, you're being honored in Boston this week at the Tradition at TD Garden for your time as a Celtic. What does that honor mean to you? And how do you reflect on your time in Boston now that a few years have passed?
First off, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. The award means everything to me. Anything that, I could come back to Boston and celebrate anything is always super cool. It's an honor to be able to, be awarded something like this, especially with all the previous award winners. Like, those are legendary people. So I'm super thankful. I'm super appreciative, and I'm excited to get back to Boston.
Well, I know Boston is excited to see you this week as well. I believe you chose Evan Turner, your former teammate, as your presenter. How did that choice come about, Isaiah?
Evan's one of my best friends, especially my best basketball friends, one of my favorite teammates. We've known each other since we were about 15, 16 years old. We first met at a high-level basketball camp in high school, and then when we became teammates, we got even closer. So it's only right for him to be a part of the experience, and I'm super thankful he was available to be able to come out and show the love and support that he always shows to me.
That's awesome. That's an era of Celtics basketball that I think maybe we don't talk about as much anymore, but it was really fun at the time, and obviously you and Evan were a big part of that. Isaiah, obviously, your time in Boston wasn't super long, but you made an immediate connection with the fan base here. You played in other NBA cities. Did you connect with fans in other cities the way you did here in Boston?
I connected with fans, but nothing's like Boston. I tell people, all the time, the love that not only Boston shows me, but shows its sports figures is unmatched. I've never seen a city have such positive fans, expect greatness each and every night, no matter what sport it is. So it just makes you work that much harder. And I'm super thankful for the love and appreciation that the whole city gives me to this day. I haven't played for the Celtics in 6, 7 years. And anytime I'm on social media, anytime I'm in the city of Boston, the people go crazy. And I think it's a lifelong relationship we have, and the love that they show me is the same love that I give back to the city since day one.
That's awesome. Now, how often are you back in Boston? Is this a common thing for you? I imagine you're pretty busy playing basketball during the winter and stuff.
Yeah. I'm only back in Boston a couple of times a year. I try to get out there. So it's very exciting to be able to come to Boston next week and be able to just take in the whole experience and be around people that I'm comfortable with being with. I'm super excited.
I want to ask you a quick question about the Celtics. Jason Tatum, it's like this overarching, looming over the season, his injury and his comeback. If the Celtics are only, fighting for the 10th seed, a play-in game, do you think Jason Tatum should try to get back this year, or should he try to take his time and make sure he's healthy for next year?
I think, personally, I think he should take his time. There's no rush. Obviously, if they're in contention to play for something and he's healthy, I know as a competitor, he's probably going to want to play. But making the most sense of things, I just think it's smart to just be fully healthy, especially coming off an Achilles, and just be ready for next year. But I know Jason. I know he's a competitor. He's working each and every day to get back. And he feels a way in terms of, owing the city, his greatness each and every night. So I understand it, but I feel like the smartest thing moving forward was to stay healthy. To get healthy and do what's best for you.
All right, Isaiah, we got three quick kind of personal questions for you here. We're going to go deep inside Isaiah Thomas. What are you watching or streaming right now?
What am I watching or streaming? It's funny because I don't really watch TV. Like, I watch a lot of basketball. I watch whatever my wife is watching, really. So I don't know what she's watching right now, but at the end of the night, I'm tuned in too.
I can relate to that, Isaiah. During your 10-plus years in the NBA, what was your favorite road trip?
My favorite road trip, either playing in LA or playing in somewhere that has good weather. Madison Square Garden, going to New York was always a cool one. But there was nothing like a home game in Boston, though.
And I know you spent a little time also in the G League. What should fans know about the G League that maybe fans don't understand?
It's a slow grind. The G League is definitely different from the NBA. But, shout out to all those guys trying to chase their dreams, working hard to show, the big league that they're ready. So I got real love and support for everybody chasing their dreams, especially in the G League, because it's not easy. It's a difficult time being down there, but it's a part of the journey. So I'm super thankful for even being a part of that experience and having that experience be a part of my journey. So it's real love for those guys chasing something.
That's awesome. All right, Isaiah Thomas, congrats on the honor at the Tradition. Thank you very much for your time. Coming up next, more Boston Globe Sports Report with Nicole Yang. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the show, and now we head to our segment, You Might Be Right. And if we got Nicole Yang here, we got to talk more Patriots football. Nicole, it's been all sunshine and rainbows for the Patriots the last few days, last few weeks, last few months. They're 9-2 now. Everyone's talking about how great they are. Drake May, the MVP. Let's slow our roll a little bit. Let's talk about maybe some of the things that could get in the way of the Patriots playing in Super Bowl 60 in a couple months. What do you think is the biggest speed bump for the Patriots between now and the playoffs?
I think with this roster, we've always talked about their depth, and so we've seen them survive some injuries at running back, some injuries at linebacker, but now we're going to see how they take on sort of their biggest absence with Milton Williams going on IR on Friday. So he's going to miss their next 4 games at minimum, which includes the big tests against Baltimore and Buffalo. So I think seeing how they navigate this will be really telling, because Milton has been really instrumental in helping the Patriots establish their stout run defense. He's helped pressure the quarterback, and he's really lived up to that contract he signed this offseason, the richest in franchise history. So he's been on the field for, if you include last week's game where he only played 8 snaps, he's been on the field for 60% of the snaps. He plays a big role in the defense. He's a defensive leader. So I'm very curious to see how they sort of navigate this stretch.
So I don't disagree with you, Nicole. That's the right word. That Milton Williams has been had a tremendous impact on this defense. I just don't think it's that big of a deal for them. Honestly, I think they're taking the longer view with Milton Williams. He came back into that Jets game after suffering the ankle injury. I think based on Mike Vrabel's comments after the game, I think they probably could keep Milton Williams on the roster and have him play the next few games if they really needed to. But I think they see it as, hey, we're probably going to beat the Bengals and the Giants anyway. Yeah, it's unfortunate we won't have him for the Bills and the Ravens, but they've racked up so many wins. I think it's more important for them to get Milton Williams healthy for the playoffs. What I'm actually really concerned with the Patriots is their defense. And even though the numbers look great this year, Nicole, I don't think they've been tested. They haven't played many great quarterbacks. The pass rush has not been very good. 6 sacks in their last 4 games. That covers over 150 pass rush snaps, so they're not getting to the quarterback. And then Justin Fields, a mobile quarterback, did kind of run circles around them last Thursday night. So when they face Lamar Jackson, when they face Josh Allen, when they get to the playoffs and the quarterbacks are better, I'm a little concerned about where the defense is and whether they can shut down some of the top offenses.
No, that's totally fair. The 2 things that concern me about the defense are their slow starts. They seem to allow a touchdown on, I think they lead the league with a touchdown on 6 of their opponents' opening drives. And then they can't stop their opponents in the red zone either. They've allowed a touchdown on 72% of their opponents' trips inside the red zone, which only the Giants have allowed more. So the Patriots definitely are going to have to clean up a lot of things on defense, and obviously the loss of Milton Williams also contributes to that.
Yeah, you got to think at some point these slow starts are going to come back to the Patriots. Although I'm starting to think they're just trying to make these games more competitive by spotting the other team's 7 points. All right, moving on now to today's slam dunk, and that takes us to the rink and our old friend Brad Marchand, who looks like a slam dunk candidate to be inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame once he hangs up his skates. Marchand hit an important benchmark last week with his 1,000th career point. Now, that number alone doesn't get you into the Hall of Fame. Just ask Bernie Nichols, who's not in despite having over 1,200 points. But Marchand plays in an era of less scoring. He now has 2 bookend Stanley Cup championships, and he could crack 500 goals if he plays through age 40. Marchand has not exactly been top of mind for Hall of Fame talk over a 17-year NHL career, and there are a lot of opposing players and fans who probably aren't thrilled about putting him in the Hall of Fame. But you know what? Brad Marchand is starting to check all the boxes. Okay, moving on to breaking it down. We bring Nicole back. Let's stay with the Bruins here. They're starting the week, Nicole, in first place in the Atlantic Division. I don't think any of us expected that when the season began. The Bruins still don't even have a team captain, but somehow they're in first place with no expectations. How are they doing it, Nicole? How did they get to this 12-8 record so far?
I mean, I think you have to give a lot of credit to the head coach, Marco Sturm. I mean, it's not as easy as Mike Vrabel, where you just get hired and then just start winning games. I think Sturm really helped the team get through their losing stretch. I mean, they're missing a lot of leaders now, Zdeno Chara, Patrice Bergeron, Brad Marchand. So he's sort of been tasked with rebuilding the culture. And after the team lost their 6th straight earlier this year, he basically challenged them. And he said, like, we have to stop now. And he tried to really right the ship. And since those sort of that fiery speech, they've gone on to be 8-2. So I think you really have to give credit to the coach here for trying to keep things afloat before maybe the season could have spiraled out of control early on. Yeah, no question. And yeah, boy, the New England region, we are blessed with first-year coaches who come in and turn the culture around right away between Vrabel and now Marco Sturm. You know, I think it's pretty simple. The Bruins, they're winning at home. They're 8-3 at TD Garden so far. They're scoring goals. They're number 2 in the league with 68 goals this year. I mean, if Morgan Geekie is all of a sudden a 50-goal scorer, then I think the Bruins got something here with Geekie and Pastrnak. I believe they're the top scoring duo in the entire NHL going back to last January. And then it's not just them two. They're getting lots of contributions. You go down the stat sheet, lots of guys with 3, 4, 5 goals this year. And, you know, they're beating the teams that they need to, the Eastern Conference opponents that have been cycling through TD Garden the last couple weeks. Now they're about to go on a West Coast trip again this week, and that's where the Bruins did struggle earlier this season. So this will be a good test, but you got to give them credit. It might not be the flashiest hockey, but the Bruins are getting it done. Okay, we head to break now. Coming up next, Danielle Dubois headed out to Gillette Stadium to talk to you, the fans, and get some of your hot takes. Coming up next. Welcome back to the show. And now, Nicole, let's bring in Danielle Dubois for our segment Wicked Loud. Danielle, you went out and talked to the fans this week and got some of their hot takes. What do you got for us?
That's right. Went down to Gillette, had some fans gronk spikes and footballs, and had a great time. We're going to start off with a hot take, though, from Adam, who has a lot to say on some Boston Stars.
Drake May is going to go down higher all time than Jason Tatum.
I mean, Nicole, you see Drake May in the flesh all the time. Do you think he could go down as more legendary than Jason Tatum?
I mean, I guess it depends on your definition of legendary. If we're just going by like championships, Jason already has one, so Drake has a little bit of work to do. But I think Drake has been able to cultivate this sort of like accessible, approachable, likable personality that's really endeared himself to the fan base quickly. So if he keeps going on that trajectory, maybe it's possible. But from a pure like win standpoint, I think Drake still has some work to get done.
Yeah, I mean, Drake May plays football, which does kind of give him an advantage. That's the #1 most popular sport. So if he can get a Super Bowl or maybe take the Patriots at least close to it, yeah, he's going to own the town. And Jason Tatum already does own the town, and he does, I think, turn more heads when he's out and about. But Drake May is really ascending quickly. I mean, this year has been the Drake May show. So, you know what, given how popular football is, I do think Drake could get there.
It might be a tight competition. Now our second Wicked Loud comes from Gary with a Morgan Geekie take.
You know what? Morgan Geekie, Selke Award winner.
Selke Award winner, which means it goes to the best defensive forward in all of the NHL. Ben, can he do it? You started off strong.
Can he do it? Sure. I'm going to be honest. I could not tell you what his chances are of winning the Selke. I honestly don't know who he's competing against. I will say this. Morgan Geekie is here to score some goals, though. He leads the Bruins with 12 goals. Not really known as a defensive player. He's not Patrice Bergeron, who won this trophy 6 times. Geekie's here to score goals, so I think anything you get from him on the defensive side is probably gravy, probably a little bit of bonus. So I'm going to lean towards no, he's not going to win it, but frankly, I don't really know. That's not something I've been following. Okay, let's move on to Save You a Click, Danielle.
Starting off, Saved You a Click, we have Jackie Bradley Jr., a past Red Sox who won the World Series in 2018 with them, is now a banana ball player. He's going to be signed to the Indianapolis Clowns. Nicole, what is your initial reaction on this?
I mean, I think this is something you love to see with professional athletes. You always talk about sort of the brevity of certain careers and how it's very difficult for them to find purpose after playing. And this is an opportunity for baseball players to keep playing the sport that they love, to keep making money, to keep interacting with fans, and to have a good time. So Jackie Bradley Jr. was beloved in Boston, and I think that this is something that you love to see.
Yeah, I love it, Danielle. And this is one of the smartest things that Jackie Bradley could do. Kids today, they don't necessarily love Major League Baseball. They love the Savannah Bananas and banana ball. And Jackie Bradley Jr. is going to introduce himself to an entire new set of fans. Now, this is one of the smartest things he's ever done.
Our last Saved You a Click for today is Drake May's wife, Ann Michael May, who is going viral because of her TikTok comment section. The fans of Boston love Drake and obviously love her because of it. Ben, thoughts?
I love it so much because it's very wholesome content. You know, it's not like she's out on the town and showing off this and that. She's, just like baking some food and posting it to Instagram, and the comments are lovely. So I think it's tremendous.
I think she made her oatmeal apple crisp bars for the offensive line, and they were all raving about them. So certainly wholesome all around.
All right. Thank you very much, Danielle. All right, let's finish the show with our Hail Marys. Nicole, you go first.
I think the Patriots are going to score 40 this weekend against the Bengals. They have the worst defense in the NFL. They're the only defense that's allowing an average of 400 yards to opposing offenses. So I think it's going to be a blowout.
All right, my Hail Mary, UNC is going to beat Duke this Saturday to keep their season alive and try to get into one of those low-end bowl games. Okay, thank you very much, Nicole Yang, Danielle Dubois. Thank you, Isaiah Thomas. I'm Ben Volin. Thank you for watching Boston Globe Sports Report.